Well, good Wednesday evening, everyone. Todd Bourne here on Facebook Live tonight, and everyone, welcome to Weather Warriors, now streaming in addition to Facebook as well as on the KTAL Now app. As today, obviously, a stormy day across the ArkLaTex in the wake of the thunderstorms, watching a cold front which is now moving through the area. You can see right now, if you watch real close, you can kind of see that camera atop the Horseshoe Casino looking towards downtown, kind of bouncing a little bit. You can also see the gusty winds there behind that front in DeKalb, Texas. It will stay rather windy tonight. And then we're looking at several days of dry weather. In fact, coming up tonight, this is what's on the docket as we are looking at obviously the threat for thunderstorms today is over. I will have the latest on, or at least the details on how high the wind was and also how much rain fell, as much of the area got at least 2 inches of rainfall before it's all said and done. Also coming up, we're going to settle into a dry weather pattern. However, we will see another front move into the ArkLaTex Sunday. That front will give us another chance for some rain, maybe a little bit of thunder, but right now, not too concerned about any severe weather with the arrival of that front. And behind that front, we get off to a cold start next week, as temperatures likely will be in the 30s Monday night. So get ready for that. Won't last very long, however, as we could see some of the warmest temperatures of the year so far by the time we get to the end of next weekend. And I'll take you out 2 weeks as far as temperatures go here in Grain of Salt time. If you're watching on Facebook, have a question or concern, just want to say hello, feel free to do so, as it is tradition to begin the festivities with our hello. So let's see who is all on board tonight. Brian, also a tradition, is usually first, and tonight no exception. Hello there, Brian. Betty, hello there in Union County. Hopefully it wasn't too bad up in your part of the area, Betty. Chris, hello. Aaron in WCOK, hello. Aaron says it's getting cooler. Yes, you're behind that front, Aaron. You'll probably be in the 30s tonight, believe it or not, for nighttime lows. Eric says 57 degrees, definitely 57 degrees in his neck of the woods in Colbert, Oklahoma. I'm showing my station in North Bossier's at 62.6. Picked up 1.9 inches of rain since midnight, a little bit before that. So nice soaking today. Let's see. Lindsay, hello. Betty. And Betty says she got 1.7 inches of rain. So that's good news, Betty. Obviously, the drought conditions, which we'll have an update on tomorrow. So today's rain obviously did help a lot. Hello there, Dylan. And Aaron says it's now 50 degrees already there in WCOK. Thanks, Aaron, for sharing that. All right, let's move on. Show you, obviously, we had some worries today with the thunderstorms. Those worries will be few and far between, hence the title of the festivities, Weather Worries. Put it at 2 out of 10. We'll have to keep an eye on that front Sunday, but right now, not really indicating anything as far as a severe weather threat. And after that, there's nothing more, as you'll see, as far as rain in the next 10 days. However, in the next couple of weeks, towards the end of the 2-week period, we could see another shot for some rain towards the end of the month. Rusty says 3 inches of rain. Where are you, Rusty? I should know that. You in Blanchard, I think, maybe, if memory serves me correctly. 3 inches, that's a good deal. And I'll show you those numbers here in a second. High temperatures today ahead of the rain made it to 73 in Shreveport. The high in Texarkana, 68. Notice Natchitoches and Manny, both in the low 80s, 82 in Natchitoches, 83 in Manny. This afternoon, there was a rush between some outflow from the thunderstorms that we had last night and this morning, and basically some storms that had developed in southeast Texas. If that outflow had not made it as far south as it did, we would have had more issues with spinning than we did. That pretty much squelched any opportunity of severe weather across most of the area during the day today. Western, all right, good. I thought I remember that correctly. I'm going to eventually learn where everybody is, at least those who watch every night. All right, let's move on and show you the peak wind speeds. And you can see the gusts in Idabel and DeQueen right around 40 miles per hour. Now, Weather Service probably will survey some damage up near Broken Bow, also near Gillum, Arkansas, I would imagine, tomorrow once the sun comes out. That was really the only location that had anything. And I'll show you the storm reports here in a second, just as though that first wave moved in last night across the northern edge of the areas where we had most of our severe weather issues. All right, let's give you the latest here. Pinpoint Doppler, put this into motion during the past. What am I doing? Let's go ahead and put it in motion here. And you can see this line right here, that is the front, which is just now moving into Shreveport. So we will see once it pushes through, the wind pick up out of the north and northwest. Notice the showers and thunderstorms off to the west of us. And also notice all these red boxes. This is what I mean about that outflow saving us for the most part, as we have numerous, even one confirmed tornado warning here northwest of Baton Rouge. That would be, see if I can get that'd be north of Hammond. Yeah, it has been rather active. We did have a confirmed tornado early this evening southeast of Alexandria. Again, we kind of dodged a bullet thanks to that outflow, and we're pretty much done. So that being said, but before I do zoom out here, and let me show you the storm reports that the Weather Service have received so far. And you can see the reports here in central McCurtain County. That would be from what very well could have been a tornado, probably was actually. There was a report of a downed limb near Foreman, and a chicken house was damaged badly near Gillum, Arkansas. So, and that's really all the storm reports that we've had, nothing more during the day today, which is obviously will take. Whenever you get 2 to 3 inches of March and you don't have severe weather, it is a good thing. So today couldn't have gone any better, actually. Speaking of those rainfall totals, here's a look at the numbers. And up in McCurtain County, where we had these strong storms, they got much less rain. Less than a half an inch at most of those locations that you see there. Further to the south, you can see the amounts that were in that 2 to 3 inch range. These orange areas represent areas of darker orange. That's over 3 inches. So we've likely seen 2 to say 3.5 inches of rainfall here in a swath from Henderson to Blanchard up towards Plain Dealing. Another one from Center to Logansport, Mansfield up towards Homer. And again, especially this part of the ArkLaTex here, that was the part that was beginning to get into level 4 drought. So this is good news. Now, when tomorrow night's drought monitor comes out, it will not have considered this rain. Okay, so I think we probably will see some worsening since we haven't had any rain from last Tuesday to yesterday. And you can see extreme south part of the area, the storms really didn't get much rain until this afternoon in Sabine and Natchitoches parishes. But once the storms arrived, they did dump a good 1 to, in some spots, 2 inches of rainfall. So good news on the rainfall front. Let's see. Gene, good evening. Glad to see the rain. You have a shot, as you saw. Obviously, the basin, you did get up to 2 inches all the way up into Lafayette and Columbia counties there, Gene. So all of that's going to come downstream. So it's looking good for getting some water in Bistineau. Brad and WCOK, hello to you. It is cool out, Gail, as that outflow cooled us off into the 60s, and behind the front, you will quickly fall through the 50s. You're quite welcome, Matt. I do appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in. Brad? Yeah, we sent Alicia up to that area, and there were some pretty good trees knocked down. Very, very isolated damage, however. Gail says lots of rain at her house. Mowing weather is about to start. Yes, it is, Gail. The grass is greening up. Brian says Harrison County no longer under a burn ban. And I imagine we'll see, especially with 2 to 3 inches, a lot of these lifted as we move forward. So, Billy, they have. We're going to go in waves. We're going to take a break here, as you'll see here in a second. I'm going to use that as a segue to get going forward here. And you can see the upper level disturbance right here. This is the little dip. We always look for these little dips. And this is the source of the thunderstorms that we had last night and today. That's going to lift off towards the northeast. This northwesterly flow is going to dry us out, and it is going to keep us dry here for the rest of this week. And as we move through the next 4 days, you can see one front moving away, high pressure building in. This is going to be a cooler air mass. As I mentioned, 30s and 40s for lows tonight. Then as that high at the surface eventually moves by, the wind will shift around to the south very quickly, and we'll start a warming trend on Friday. You can see another frontal boundary off to the north. That is probably not going to do much, but it's maybe shift our winds a little bit. And you can see the colder air further to the north. That is what is going to plunge southward. Looking at some snow in the northern plains and upper Midwest as a result of that low. And behind that low, here comes the surge of cold. And here we are Sunday, 6 a.m. And you can see the Futurecast does show a few showers, maybe a little bit of rumble, thunder. A lot of it's going to depend on how much moisture is going to be available. Now, we will be in the 80s Sunday ahead of that front. So I suspect that we will hear some thunder. But as of right now, it doesn't look like we'll see much. Most models not showing. If anything, it's going to be a quick shot of not as long lasting as what we experienced today, given the fact that this trough is coming in from the north instead of the west. We will not have as much moisture available. So that's what it looks like through the weekend. Let's see. Billy, yes, you were the last comment. I thought you were a new comment, but they have started. Typically, severe weather season, Billy, however, begins at the beginning of March in our area. We tend to peak in April, and then we start to see things become more summer-like in May. And then we kind of transition to those big complexes of storms, which produce the widespread wind damage in late May and June, especially first half of June, before we settle into the hot and drier summer months. All right, let's move ahead and show you Futurecast as we move forward. You can see the big blue arrows behind the front. That is going to be the gusty winds out of the north and northwest tonight. It will decrease a bit late tonight. And then moving through tomorrow, we'll see plenty of sunshine, still a bit of a northeasterly wind, which will keep temperatures in the 60s for daytime highs. Actually, 69 is now normal, so we will be below normal tomorrow for a change. As we move into basically tomorrow night, the wind shifts around to the south. It's going to be chilly again tomorrow night, but probably not as chilly as what's on the way tonight. And then Friday, after highs tomorrow in the 60s, we'll be in the 70s for daytime highs on Friday. So Friday's looking pretty good. Heading through Friday night, you can see a few clouds over the southern sections of the area. Saturday, we begin with the low clouds, but end with some sunshine. Temperature Saturday flirting with 80. And then heading into Saturday night, again, low clouds. There's that moisture starting to increase. And you'll see what Futurecast shows Sunday as the front comes in. Again, a few scattered showers, maybe a thunderstorm will be possible. And this is as far out as Futurecast goes. So that is a clearly defined front with the arrows this big. So it's going to be windy Sunday and then windy Sunday night behind that front. And that's going to bring in that cold air. High temperatures next Monday will be in the 50s, if you can believe that. We'll go from the 80s Sunday to the 50s Monday. That's going to be the strength of what very well could be some of the coldest air that we experience in a while. So if you like the chill, make sure you enjoy tonight, tomorrow night, as well as Monday night. All right, let's see if we got any other comments here. She is. Tell her that's basically that is a clap of thunder. And when I demonstrated at schools, you have all this heat going through the column of air that it passes through with a lightning bolt, right? And then that makes the air in that column less dense, so the air around it basically claps all the way down. So that's kind of a way of thinking of it. Anyway, Melissa Steven. Okay, I don't need that. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Brad. I hope you said for 10 hours. That means she has it back. So hopefully there wasn't too much damage in her place, Brad. So let's move on and show you the pattern here for the next 2 weeks. And here's that big trough again, the little bit of rain from the GFS. You can see how that trough digs over the eastern sections of the country, but never fear. We got upper level ridging, which is going to migrate across the country as we move through the end of next week. And towards 2 weeks from now, you can see pretty much west to east, or what we call zonal flow. And that could lead a little ripple here to be enough to give us a shot for some thunderstorms. So it could be 2 weeks minus that chance of rain Sunday before we see, a decent amount of rain if this does take place as this model is indicating. So 2 weeks from today, this little disturbance may squeeze out some rain, but as of right now, it doesn't look like very much. All right, let's talk. Speaking of rain, let's talk rainfall. And Nita, hello to you. Hopefully you braved these storms okay in your neck of the woods. I believe you're in Titus County, if memory serves me correctly. Let's see. So rain, back to the rain. You can see this is the outlook from the Weather Prediction Center. And some of this may have already fallen, but it does probably reflect what is possible Sunday. So you can see the amounts very light over the southeastern sections of the area, or heaviest over the southeast, very light over the northwest. Best case scenario, 1/4 to 1/2 inch. And I say best case, anytime we don't have any severe weather, when we're in drought, we'll take all the rain we can get. Let's take you out 10 days. This is the blend of models. And again, this probably does have some of the today's rain in it. So these may be a little bit inflated. So you can see it is not showing much over the north, and somewhere in that 1/4 to 1/2 inch range over the southeast. Now, it's quite possible that this is all new rain. So, and I made a point here when I typed in the numbers and looked up the numbers from the various models here, that I took out the rain from today. From this is basically the morning runs of all the models and some ensembles. And so I took out today's rain, and what you see here is basically what they are showing for the next 2 weeks. Keep in mind, we should get over 2 inches of rain in 2 weeks this time of year. Probably closer to 2.5, to be honest with you. So this is well below normal for a 2-week period. And obviously, I mentioned last night, getting the rain that we get today, we got to get as much as we can, because we're going to settle back into that dry weather pattern as we go through the last half of March. You're glad it's done? I bet you do, Nita. Jada says having some hefty wind gusts in Texarkana right now. That's basically post-frontal wind gusts, as we have, again, a cold front which has moved through. We're going to see those gusts approach 30 miles per hour probably during the nighttime hours tonight behind that frontal system, especially the first couple of hours once the front moves past your area. All right, let's talk temperatures, and you can see some ups and downs here in the next week. We go down tomorrow to 64, back up to 82 according to the European ensembles, down to the 30s. I do have 38 for Tuesday, 54 for the high on Monday. Normal's almost 70. So, yeah, that's going to be well below normal. We creep back up above normal by Wednesday, and you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The last week of this 2-week period will feature highs in the low 80s, lows in the upper 50s to low 60s. So that's one set of ensembles. Let's compare this to the GFS ensembles. And you can see the same trends: warm up to Sunday, cool down as behind that Sunday front. 34 still. This is what the GFS ensembles were showing last night in Shreveport, 34. I did show the temperatures on the air for Tuesday morning area-wide, and there were a few low 30s. I do think some of the low-lying areas, basically Sevier, Howard, McCurtain County, Hempstead County, could see temperatures below freezing Monday night. So you're going to be in the 30s tonight. So it's going to be cold tonight, but coldest probably going to be Monday night. And you can see the GFS ensembles have us in the middle 80s by the middle, basically next weekend. So, and once we get into the 80s, it looks like we're going to stay there, as normal high during the middle of this period is now, I believe, 72. So 71 maybe. So we're going to be, most of the days will be above normal, and pretty much the same thing for the nighttime lows. Gail says, I like the cooler. All right. It's not going to be super hot, Gail. We're going to give you a couple months. Get those outdoor things. You got 4 days. Well, actually 3.5 days to get those done. Let's see. Is that all the comments? I believe it is. All right, let's move on to the forecast tonight before I wrap things up. And forecast does show that obviously the rain, we still have a little bit of rain associated with the cold front that is making its way through the area. It is going to come to an end. Behind it, we will very quickly clear out as we move past midnight, pretty much area wide. Notice the wind sustained right around 15. We'll see the gusts of 20 to 30. Overnight lows 39 in Texarkana, close to freezing in DeQueen, 34, 37 in Idabel, 39 degrees in Magnolia. Further to the south, we will see temperatures in the low 40s, 43 in Shreveport, 41s at most of the rest of the locations, Arcadia, Marshall, Carthage Center, and Henderson, 40 degrees in Longview. And then tomorrow, pretty nice day if you like a little crispness in the air, as we'll see plenty of sunshine. Temperatures will be below that normal of 69. Still a touch on the breezy side tomorrow, as highs will be in the low to middle 60s over the northern sections of the area. 64 in Texarkana, 65 in DeQueen, DeKalb, as well as Atlanta and Idabel and Mount Pleasant. So it looks like 65s are wild tomorrow across the north. A lot of 65s across the south, too. Pretty much every location in East Texas, 65 in Shreveport, as well as 65 degrees in Natchitoches. And here is my 10-day forecast, which shows that we will see temperatures quickly warm up back to the middle 70s on Friday. We flirt with 80 on Saturday, low 80s on Sunday. Again, a better shot. It's one thing that's changed from yesterday. Chances for rain looking better on Sunday now. Probably East Texas, Northwest Louisiana in the afternoon is when that line will move through with the cold front. Ahead of that 82, 58 for Monday's high. I have 38 for Shreveport still for Tuesday morning. And then we'll be back up to 80 by Thursday, and we will warm into the middle 80s by next weekend. So that is officially everything I have for you tonight. Is we're going to kind of settle back into smooth sailing, as I like to say, in the weather department here for most of the next couple of weeks. That being said, of course, the storms are over. I'm going to send you off with a little celebration in my attempt add a little bit of humor. And I must admit, the stockpile is drawing rather low, so I apologize for the lack of quality sometimes. But a man and a woman, actually a man and his wife, are talking, and it's getting close to dinner. And the wife asks her husband, "What are you thinking about for supper tonight?" And the man says, "How about we go get some takeout?" She says, "Are you thinking Chinese?" He says, "No, I'm thinking in English." And that will officially do it for me tonight, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to tune in tonight at 9 on Fox 33, shortly after I'm done here, and at 10 on NBC 6. And, of course, for those watching on the KTAL Now app, thanks for watching. I am recording this. I think I hit record, and so that will post in the your weather authority section on the top of the app, or at least near the top, for those whenever you want to watch this. Say you've missed my update at 8:30, want to catch up on what I said, you can always watch it there on the KTAL Now app. So again, thanks everyone for tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow night with another live update. Of course, tomorrow night, Grain of Salt night, will take you out 6 weeks, which will almost get us through April. And of course, tomorrow's drought monitor day. I'll show you the latest on what the drought monitor is showing as well. So until tomorrow night, have a great Wednesday night, have a great Thursday, and get outside tomorrow and enjoy the sunshine. Good night.